Sir, the deplorable state of the church is really alarming. There is so much carnality, prayerlessness, lukewarmness, greed, selfishness and lack of passion for souls. What do you think is the solution to all this?
Revivals have always been the major means that God employs to rescue a weakened, backsliding church. Through revival, He restores the church to new levels of power and influence. When we talk about revival, we talk about seasons of refreshing from the presence of God. This is a way by which God energizes the church and advances His cause. The best that man can do will never meet the need. Only as God comes upon the scene in revival power can the church see its destiny realized.
That's so true, sir.
The outcome of revivals are always amens. Churches come alive, gospel preaching carries unusual power, missionary movements are born, holiness replaces worldliness, passion for prayer, Bible study, and worship consumes individuals. And revival converts are usually persevering believers until their dying breath.
Wow, God is awesome.
The greatest days of the church have been the days of revival. During revival, you see what is called soul travail. I mean, men travailing in prayers for souls. We know of men of spirit and passion, like Jonas, who cried unto God and said, "Oh God, give me Scotland, or I die." John Wesley, who said, "You have nothing to do but to save souls."
Interesting.
A man called D.L. Moody said, "The world has yet to see what God can do through one man, wholly surrendered to Him." This D.L. Moody was a man mightily used of God. He placed one foot on Europe and the other on America and shook both continents for God.
That's so powerful.
Let me also tell you of Charles G. Finney. This was a man at the center of some revivals that witnessed the conversion of untold multitudes. We also have General Booth, who was a man from London's slum of vices. This man sought and won numerous sinners of the darkest dye. Is it John Smith, who is renowned to have stained his room with tears for lost souls?
Sir, since revival is the cure to the backslidings of the church, why hasn't God released it yet?
My brother, revival doesn't just happen. It comes as a result of a cleansed section of the church, bent and bowed in supplication and intercession. The price of revival is travail. Revival will not come without prayer, without brokenness and seeking after God. The only reason we don't have revival is because we are willing to live without it.
That's really sad.
See, we have become too comfortable, too lazy, too apathetic, and too indifferent. We are neither hot nor cold, but simply lukewarm, as the Laodicean church. And we deserve to be spewed out of the Lord's mouth unless we get serious about prayer and forget our trivial pursuits and worldly amusements. We simply will not see revival break forth.
That's so correct. It's really messy right now.
The tragedy of this late hour is that we have too many dead men in the pulpits giving out too many dead sermons to too many dead people. If our churches are not full of dead men and women, they certainly seem to be full of sleeping men and women. As the church goes, so goes the world. The world is in a mess because the church is in a mess. And the church is in a mess because many of its leaders and preachers are in a mess.
So, how do we go from here?
Until we start to see our spiritual need and start to cry out to God, revival will elude us. Until we are broken and repentant, we will see no fresh move of God's Spirit. The church must first repent, then the world will break. The church must first weep, then our altars will be filled with weeping penitents. A man who is intimate with God is not intimidated by man. No man is greater than his prayer life. The pastor who is not praying is playing. The people who are not praying are straying.